During the preparations, when we began for the competition, there were a lot of nerves. We fully acknowledged that there were 5 other teams all going for the same goal, but we just thought into ourselves that we can do this. It's that confidence, that zeal, that vigor to say, we want to win this competition. We believe we have the skills, we have the techniques that will get us through all to the end, and that essentially is what was good for us. It came through for us, winning the competition, the first round, the semi-finals, through to the finals. All of it was just built on the confidence that yes, we can do this, we can beat the teams that are here, and it was an amazing experience.
Our expectation was that we'd just arrive, we'd find a few people, and then we'd go away. But it was more than that. It was great. It was a very warm welcome that we didn't expect at all. And meeting all the other teams was also, it was phenomenal. It was great. We actually forgot about the competition for a while because we're all there, networking, interacting, and everyone that was there to receive us, CharterQuest, that was good. We really, really enjoyed it. That was a great welcome, actually.
The theories were given to prepare for the final. Wow, life-changing. It was immense. We had to crack our heads. We said, okay guys, we've come this far, there's no way we're gonna give up. We gave it our all, took off our jackets, folded our sleeves, and said, we gotta have it. And here we are, champions of the world. We conquered like we came.
It's still sinking in. It's an overwhelming feeling. I can't really explain it, but it means so much. It's helped me, it's helped my team benchmark ourselves against some of the best minds you can think of, and that's huge for us. It's showing so many opportunities. It's great. It can't really be explained. It's great. It's a great feeling.
So the way I felt when they announced, I will not lie to you, because there were 3 great teams, ourselves included. I was so scared, worried that things might have gone wrong. And then the moment of truth came, and they announced the winners as Team Athena. I was overjoyed. I was overzealous. Almost in a state of shock. It was sheer relief. I think that best sums it up. Yeah, we won. We are totally the global champions. You guys words cannot begin to express how I feel inside. Great experience. Thank you CFO, thank you CharterQuest, thank you South Africa.
Hi, my name is Johnny Iliadis, the owner and founder of the IE International Group. I'm a chartered accountant with ACCA and have been the chairman of South Africa for the last 2 years. I'm very proud to be here today. I was also privileged and honored to be the MC of the CFO case study competition of 2016 in South Africa. Now, this experience to me has been amazing. And I think really what makes this competition is the candidates, is the teams, and the type of people that these teams have. From the first day, as they came to the airport and as they walked into South Africa and we picked them up to bring them to the hotel room, you could see that these people were on a mission. You could see that they were determined to grow, they were determined to win. The best of themselves was going to show up. But where you really saw it is when you heard these people speak, when these teams came up to the case study and they had to present their solutions. That was amazing. I don't even think any of the judges, and there was big caliber of judges in this competition, CFOs of Telkom, of Oceanus, of big companies, Philips, audit firms, great judges that add so much value, but I think they were shocked when they heard the solutions and the caliber of solutions that these students were presenting. I remember these judges asking, how old are you? I mean, how long have you been doing this? And they couldn't believe it. And the age of these students were 20, 21 years old. And they were dealing with real solutions, real companies, real problems. So I must say, as MC, I could really have an opportunity to interact. They stepped up to the plate. I can't believe the attitude of these students. They knew that there was going to be a winner, and they knew that 5 out of the 6 of them will not get the opportunity to hold the final first position. They knew that. Just think about this competition, how big this competition is. Where will a 21-year-old student have the opportunity to sit on the same table as with a judge, a CFO of a multinational company, a CFO of the JSE Stock Exchange? Where will a 21-year-old student have the opportunity to engage with that caliber of person? What can be taught? What can be learned? What can be life-changing to that student sitting and having a conversation with a judge with so many years experience? You know, I said to one stage, if you had to pay to be around these judges, to ask them for advice on solutions, to ask them for advice on, you know, I remember a student was asking advice, how did I do? How did I present? Do you think we came up with the right solution? Do you think we were focusing on the right areas? Do you think we should have changed something? Those are the questions the students were asking these judges. If you had to pay, if you had to look at the hourly rate of all these judges and you put it together, it would be hundreds of thousands of rand time of consulting, advice. This is a life-changing event. Now, a competition like this bridges that gap. Competition like this takes a student that is learning theory and bridges the gap to get some practical experience and to be around the people that he's going to have to impress when he gets into the working environment. So for me as MC, I want to say thank you to the organizers who invited me. It was an honor. Thank you for making this event a life-changing event. Thank you very much.
Good day, I'm Dion Fredericks. I'm the CFO of Telkom South Africa. I served as the Chief Judge for the CFO 2016 case study competition. As Chief Judge, the hardest part of my job was firstly to understand the competition. Secondly, make sure that I have a clear understanding of the case study. And then make sure that with the other judges we compare and look for the right things in terms of the solution. And then bringing all of that together and decide what's the most important part. Because what we found was that we had 6 very good finalists, and that we brought down to 3. And those 3, between the 3, there was not much to choose who were the winner. And as a result, we had to focus on what's the key thing of the competition. It's to make sure that we can nurture and broaden the scope of CFOs going forward so that they can position themselves in the workplace. And as such, bringing the financial numbers together out of the case study were critical, and getting that balance right. For me, what inspired me to actually be part of this was we don't have firstly something like that. We've seen that technical colleges have closed down. As such, there's nowhere where university students can get exposure, practical experience, and I think this competition actually provides it. Gives them an opportunity on a big stage to apply themselves, to test their ability, to create confidence in what they're doing, and also to compete internationally. I actually thought the case study was a bit too tough. I thought to bring all of these things together for students that haven't had experience. I'm fortunate I'm in the industry, so I could understand the case study and put things together. But for somebody that's not in the industry, I think they've done more than well. They have excelled beyond my wildest expectations. I also thought that ultimately, from a case study perspective, they unpack the things very well, and just the confidence with which they present. They had stage presence. I can probably take you to some of our presentations at Telkom or at the board level, and you wouldn't find some of the quality we've seen on the stage. Even when we went to the finals where they just had 3 hours to prepare, I was actually quite worried they not firstly be able to present properly, and secondly their solutions will not be up to standards. We were impressed. And that indicates to you the quality that we had for this competition in the finals were excellent. For them specifically, I think all three teams actually, they're more teamwork. Because in business, teamwork is critical. If you don't work as a team, you won't be successful. So the teamwork was clear specifically. The prioritization, what were the priorities that they need to focus? And I think the key for them specifically, they got it spot on. They got the financial numbers spot on. And ultimately for any business, and I always say to my guys, anything that you do in the organization has a financial impact. You get the financial impact wrong, you could impact negatively the organization. They got the numbers right. I think firstly, make sure you understand the industry that you are. Secondly, understand the people that you are. Teamwork is critical in any organization. Thirdly, be open-minded. And fourthly, there's not only one solution to an answer. Each situation requires different tactic, different view, different approach, and you don't have to resolve all the problems today. Determine what's the most critical and focus that, and as a result, you will run a successful business.
Hello, good morning. My name is Fabian Cáceres. I'm the CFO Head of Finance from Philips Southern Africa. I was part of the judge from the semifinals and finals. In the semifinals, I was the chief judge. In the finals, I was the deputy chief judge for the CFO Business Competition 2016. The main difference between the semifinals and finals on the team is that for the semifinals, the teams, they were able to prepare for the last 3 to 4 months. So they have a strict presentation. They have already, lines. They were preparing the questions and the answers. In the finals, they only have 3 hours. So basically we test them on the spot, how they will be able to answer the questions, how they will be able to behave like a real business leaders, how they will be able to react in a real board situation, in a real CFO situation. So that was the main difference. They went above the board. So the quality of the presentation, we discussed across all the judges, and we were surprised. The guys, all the teams that were between the 21s, 22 years old, and actually sometimes within our own teams, we don't see that quality of presentation. And also if you consider that the teams, they have only 3 hours to present, to review the case, to prepare an answer, and provide that presentation, was a top-notch quality. Yeah. Well, the elements that was stood out for the Zambia team were different. I mean, all of them, they were fantastic presentation. All of them, they have a really good logic behind, a background on the answers, but it's at the end of the day is the complete package. So they have a really strong presentation, they really understand really well the case, they really back up really well the questions, and at the moment that we were asking as board the questions to them, the way they rationalize the answer and the way that they provide logic on the answer was superb, was really good. All across, if I see the CFOs and business leaders across them, yes, I do. I mean, as I mentioned to you before, I mean, these guys, these young leaders, these young professionals are 21, 22 years old. And the way they were answering the questions, the way they were preparing, is in the level I've been seeing in my boards. Well, my advice that I can give to them is that don't give up. This business case was a tough business case. It was a tough competition where you have a kind of protected environment, right? So you knew that the worst thing that could happen is that you will have a really tough questions. In the real world, you have real effects. You will fail, you will not win all the time. So the most important thing is that they should never give up and keep going, believe in themselves is really important. They have the talent, they have the quality, they have the passion, which is really important. So they need to keep going. You cannot expect that you will be winning all the time. The only thing that you can expect is that you will have, with your perseverance and your resilience, you can continue, and therefore you will win.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Buki Adewuyi. I am a director and partner with Sizwe in Saluba Gobodo, which is an audit firm that provides external audit, assurance, advisory, and other related services. I served as a judge in the semi-finals and the finals of the CFO Case Study Competition 2016. My experience at the CFO semi-finals was that the competition was of a very high quality. I was very impressed by the caliber of the contestants, the submission. I felt that a lot of work had gone into the product, and I felt really proud to be associated with such an initiative. The way I handled my judging as a judge on the panel was to try to interrogate the flow of thought of the participants. So after understanding what the case study was about, going through the solutions, I tried to challenge their thinking of business. I tried to see whether in a real life situation, what they were proposing would really work for me if I was truly a board member, and whether it would really add value to my business. And that helped me with the kind of questions that I was able to ask them to challenge their thinking. What encouraged me about the case study and the competition to want to serve as a judge is the fact that I felt that this was long overdue. I feel that increasingly, as the world is changing and the expectations from business is also changing, finance officials can no longer be the way they used to be in the past. There is a need for us now to be more business-minded, for us to be more strategy-oriented, and to be more risk-focused. And after going through the case study materials, I could very well identify with the challenges of this organization and what the participants needed to do. And I felt this would be a very brilliant opportunity for me to also stay in touch with reality in terms of my own business development, and to also give back to society in terms of helping to groom business leaders. I think the CFO competition would have gone a long way in preparing these young individuals, because if you look at the quality of the case that they had to analyze, and the fact that it was taken from a real life situation to which they had to apply themselves and apply various business scenarios, I think they are very well equipped now to go into the world of business feeling confident and knowing fully well that they can apply their judgment and apply their business thinking strategies to evaluating everyday business dilemmas. So I think they are very much better prepared. What I noticed that was slightly different was also the quality of content. Because if you look at the time that they had to prepare the finals, they only had 3 hours. And if you look at the quality that they were able to produce in those 3 hours, I think within those 2 days, their level of understanding of the case itself had matured, and it enabled them to be able to put more quality into the content that they brought to the finals. My advice going forward, in terms of when they do enter into the world of work, is to take all the learnings from this competition, what they have learned also from watching the other team members, and to take that and imbibe it into their everyday life. The business world does not get more complex than what they saw in this case study competition. And I think if they apply some of the learnings and they actually put themselves back into the concept of some of the challenges that they actually had to solve, it will help them a lot in their everyday life when they enter into the workplace.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still here at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange for the CFO case study competition, and my name is Buhlebenko Simkandla. Standing right next to me is Pat Simenya, the head of ACCA South Africa. Pat, welcome.
Thank you, Buhle. Thank you so much.
How are you feeling? This is a very big event. It's a prestigious event, one of the first in South Africa. What are your thoughts around this event today?
Buhle, to be honest with you, I think the bar has been raised in terms of the caliber of this aspirants that we have here today. I think CharterQuest's vision of literally grooming qualified leaders who are business-minded and with the financial expertise, it will be realized. It's actually an awesome event.
Now, with the shortage of CAs in South Africa, how important, especially at this time where the economy is not really doing that great, how important is it for young people to start considering this industry?
It is, because ultimately to become an effective leader, you need to be well-rounded. It's not just knowing how to crunch your numbers. And we see some of the skills that the students the aspirants are learning here is the whole effective leadership thing and teamwork. Because ultimately it is important, if you're going to be a CFO or a business leader, ultimately you have to be well-rounded. And these are some of the things that we see here. Gone are the days, I think, in the country, especially where looking for work, employment is the first option. We need to start building entrepreneurships. We need to entrepreneurs rather. We also need to look at people that actually can drive business for growth. And I think this is empowering youth with very, very, very valuable skills.
So most of the people that are competing here are actually university students, and this case study somehow forces them to use what they learn in the classroom in terms of theory and apply it in real business context.
Yeah.
How important should our South African and African university as a whole consider using case studies as a way to teach students to apply their minds in general to real-world business problems?
Look, ultimately that's exactly what we need, because, for example, if you look at the ACCA qualification, ultimately it's about case studies, because we have a situation in our education system where you find that it's very much academic and theory based, and then somebody is very highly qualified and they go into industry but they cannot deliver because they've never really been exposed to real life situations or case studies in that sense. So what typically happens is that with the ACCA qualification, for example, you get prepared for those, and this is a classic example of that, where now as a learner you need to take what you've learned and apply it to real life situations, and it's actually fantastic. That is actually exactly what we need, because you find that we're gonna have a gap around a situation where somebody graduates because they are qualified with a certain level of a qualification, and then they feel that they expect a certain salary and so forth because their qualification will command that, but there's this huge gap around experience, and these case studies are some of those things where we could try and bridge that.
Now, you saw the semi-finals today. Are you going to be here for tomorrow? And if so, what are you expecting to see?
Definitely. The reason I came here today was so that I kind of acclimatize to and have expectations for tomorrow. I'm actually expecting to see real business leaders presenting a case, because you must remember with the finals, the case study that they're going to do, they wouldn't have seen it before. And this is what the business world is about. When you come to work one day and then there is this real life scenario that you have to think. I think they've got about 3 hours tomorrow to read a case study, analyze and present it. So I'm really looking forward to see how our students are applying, because that's the only way also to embed what they learn at universities.
I can literally feel the excitement. I can see that you're excited.
I'm excited. I mean, this is a fantastic thing that CharterQuest has started, and for South Africa to host it for all the global aspirants, absolutely fantastic. As ACCA, we are proudly sponsoring this event, proudly as being associated with it, because it talks to our values of effective leadership in accountancy. Fantastic platform.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, she said it all. Pat Semenya, head of ACCA South Africa. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sofato Magore, and today we are here at the JSE semi-finals for the CFO competition case study 2016.
Thank you very much. I think case study brings practical simulated exercises in a classroom. For us as the University of Limpopo, we pride ourselves to be a financial skills incubator. An incubator is a space where you develop future leaders, future CFOs, future minds. And one of the ways to bring practice into classroom is the use of case study. More importantly, within the chartered accountancy field, you will notice that in the past few years, the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants have revised its examination setting, where in the part 1, which is the initial test of competency, they test technical competency. However, in the final part of assessment, they test professional competency. And in that final part, case studies is used. And this form a careful and very good synergy and balance between academics and practice.
You were able to come up with a strategic plan. Why do you think it's important for strategic plan to be implemented, and as well as leadership? How do you think leadership is important when it comes to coming with strategic plan?
It's of course any organization without a determined, passionate leader is of course bound to fail. There needs to be a champion that drives strategy. Strategy without tactics itself, it's useless. Therefore, there needs to be a careful balance between long-term strategy and operational strategy, which will then be the tactics. The combination of those two with the right people then will lead to successful organizations. My finish line as a person, of course, is that you strive as an individual to be great. You strive as an individual to be effective. But you cannot be successful even if you're effective without being great. And your greatness is judged to the extent to which you impact on other people's lives. In this case, we must give credit to CharterQuest for initiating the CFO case study competition, because this is the way CharterQuest is using to impact on the life of people. Within the aspirants, we have people from Australia, Indonesia, Zambia, Ghana, of course, within South Africa. What else will you bring than to challenge young minds to think strategically on how to solve innovative business ideas and bring, of course, innovative solutions? The truth is, as I indicated, in the past, people see financial personnel to be technocrats. Yes, they have to be technocrats, but they have to be leaders. They have to be integrated thinkers in order to combine various facets of business to ensure that the issue of goal congruence is achieved. Remember, the issue of goal congruence is not limited in terms of profitability only, but also in the other forms of capital, i.e. the people, i.e. the society, the community, and the others.
Thank you, Professor, for your time. This was Professor Cosmas Ambe. Thank you.
Well, we've now come to the end of episode 7 and obviously the end of the CFO Case Study Competition Series. Now you see why we cannot wait to host the national and global finals in October. Now, let's wrap up. The CFO Case Study Competition is about grooming the next generation of business leaders for South Africa, for Africa, and globally. It involves analyzing a very complex business case, applying all the range of models that the average learner at high school, at university, in Africa and all over the world would have applied to demonstrate the ability to display a broad range of skills, technical skills, finance and business acumen, decision making, integrated thinking. Ultimately, it is about problem solving, it's about critical thinking, reimagining, innovating and changing education. Once again, now you see why we cannot wait to host the national and global finals in October. I look forward to seeing you all in October at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange and at the Sandton Convention Center. For those of you who want to be part of this exciting journey, you can follow the address at the bottom of our screen. Thank you so much.
Join us to welcome the world to South Africa, and let's reimagine education.
Once every year, the CharterQuest Professional Education Institute, through its Corporate Social Investment Foundation, the Case Study Center, brings the world to South Africa and takes South Africa to the world to benchmark and celebrate fit-for-purpose education. It is more than just knowledge. is the critical and professional application to real-world problem solving, out-of-the-box thinking. It is more than just cognitive intelligence. It's the rigorous development of emotional intelligence. It is more than just passing exams. It transforms the mindset and grooms the next generation of leaders. That's what the CFO case study competition and the CFO junior case study competitions are all about. We cannot wait to host the national and global finals of CFO 2017 in October.
Last year, universities, education policymakers, young professionals and big business came together to witness over 1,200 aspirants in the CFO case study competition. Not only did they have to focus on business as usual imperatives, but strategic problems that required a view from both an ethical, technical, as well as boardroom business case study. This year, the case study moves from being in the telecommunications sector to mining.
CFO 2017 Statistics Global. 1,500 entrants, 370 different teams from 60 universities, 35 countries and 5 continents. The CFO Junior Statistics, in its first edition, 800 aspirants and 260 teams from 80 public and private high schools across 9 provinces in South Africa.
After multiple rounds, the best 6 teams were invited.
All roads lead to Johannesburg, South Africa.
And now, a preview of the CFO 2017 National and Global Finals.
Day 1, October 10th, 2017. Join us to receive them at the Oliver Tambo International Airport.
So it's great to finally be in Johannesburg.
Day 2, October 11, 2017, we tour some of the most iconic sites in South Africa, starting with Soweto. An iconic site we cannot miss is the Hector Peterson Memorial. Let the CFO case study competition symbolize a transition from a struggle for democracy to that of a better education and youth leadership development.
Day 3, October the 12th, 2017. Stream in live or join us for the exciting national and global semi-finals at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Day 4, October 13, 2017. The national and global finals. It's action-packed with 4 scenes. Scene 1 is where we announce the semi-finalists on their way to the grand finale at the Sandton Convention Center.
And he decided to launch the Global CFO Case Study Competition. Today, we host the finals of the CFO Case Study Competition.
Scene 2, the closed-up analysis. The best teams are locked up, provided with an extended version of the case study involving strategic challenges that they must now resolve, come back to the panel of judges and do their final presentation. Scene 3, the grand finale. Stream in or join us to witness live the top 3 teams battle it out for the right to be crowned the CharterQuest Future CFOs and Global Business Leaders 2017. Day 4, Scene 4, the exclusive awards gala dinner at the Michelangelo 5-star Hotel. Day 5, October 17, 2017, the JSE Market Open and University Outreach. We blow the kudu horn to signify a successful end of CFO 2017 and launch Open CFO 2018.
Join us to welcome the world to South Africa.
And let's reimagine, innovate, and change education.
Join us now to count down. 3, 2, 1.
Log on to www.charterquest.co.za. Click on the CFO and join us today.